welcome to Hank's Maker Mentor. Today I am working on making a shirt using Cricut Infusible Ink. I am going to use these two different packages and I'm going to have both of them as part of the same design.
Here in Design Space, I have broken it up where the different colors are on the different sections, and I have my stars as well for test heads. So I'm going to go ahead and click Make It.
So I've positioned the red star here so that it is not going to block the design, but it's going to cut in the same area without wasting any extra. So I'm going to also get the yellow set up. That star can just cut here in this top corner. It will be fine, but this one, because I'm using the Cricut Mug Press Infusible Ink, they are the 4.5 by 12 inch sheets. So I'm going to slide this one all the way to the bottom so I can have one sheet across the top and one across the bottom for them both to cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and click Continue. I am using the Infusible Ink Transfer Sheets, so I'm going to click on that, and it gives me the warning of make sure mirror is turned on and material is inked side up. I have mirror off, but I flipped the design on the mat so I didn't have to remember to turn it on. My Cricut's been needing more pressure for most of the stuff, so I'm going to just change the pressure to more. And then I want to make sure that I'm cutting this red one first. The red star needs to be cut out of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and get that loaded up on my mat. You want to make sure when you are working with infusible ink that your hands are dry, you don't have a bunch of oils or lotions on them. I have this one on the mat, so we're going to go ahead and load it into the machine. So there is where it cut. It came out really easily, and it doesn't seem like it cut through the carrier sheet, so I am happy with those settings. So I'm going to unload it, make sure I select the one I want it to cut on this one, and then go ahead and reload it. This one's going to take a little longer to cut, so I'm going to slide it aside just a bit so I can work on setting up the other mat as well at the same time. And then I want to make sure it's doing the test cut on this other one, since it is technically a different material. It should still be the same setting, but I just want to double check since these are the only sheets of this material that I have. Saw me on the other word, the accordingly, I rolled the design in all sorts of different angles. That helps the cut section of the design separate from the rest and makes it easier to weed. this all weeded, we're ready to go over to the heat press to prep the shirt and get this applied.
I do want to make sure I have my settings correct, so I'm going to go to cricut.com/heat guide.
I'm going to pretend like I'm using the Easy Press 2 with an Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet and the t-shirt as my base. It does have the mat underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and click apply. So I need it at 385 for 40 seconds with light pressure and a warm peel with preheat of 15 seconds. Let's go over and get that set up. So I am using a Athletic Works shirt from Walmart. It does have a high polyester count, so this should work no problem with the infusible ink. The first step is going to be to preheat it, and I am using my StarCraft Mint heat press. You can definitely do this with an easy press. You don't want to try and do a full shirt size design on an easy press mini. So I'm just preheating it, and then I need to change my pressure, and I only did 10 of the 15 seconds, so I'm doing the other 5 seconds now that I've adjusted the pressure, just since that way it allowed me to make sure my pressure was correct. I'm going to lint roll it. Even though I don't see anything obvious here on the shirt, if you use infusible ink and you don't lint roll it, you might end up with little blue speckles, especially because I have some that came off. I had used an entirely new lint rolling sheet and there was still some stuff that came off, so we want to make sure that that's all gone before we apply the infusible ink. I'm going to just very briefly fold this so I can find the center of the shirt, and this is just to help me line it up. If you have a good eye for lining things up, you do not have to do this step. You want to take a piece of white cardstock. I know originally they said 110 pounds. I feel like they might have changed it. I am still using the supply of cardstock I bought when I first started doing infusible ink, but the cardstock prevents it from bleeding through the entire shirt. I put these little diamonds as part of the design to help me line things up. I'm not intending to transfer them, so I'm going to set the first one and then get the second one. I do need to trim it down more. I don't want the extra transfer sheet on top of the others. It shouldn't make a huge difference, but I prefer to just play it safe. So I'm gonna line the diamonds up so they are on top of each other. And then get that one stuck down. And then I'm gonna get this last one lined up. So now I'm going to cut those little diamonds out. Because the transfer sheet is very sticky, I'm able to pull up just part of it, and it kind of tugs the shirt enough that I can get the diamond worked out while still leaving the rest of it in position. But you want to make sure you don't cut the shirt on accident. I am happy with how that looks. This bottom accordingly is sliding a little bit more than I like, so I'm going to just use a tiny bit of heat resistant tape to get that secure. And then I want to make sure that my shirt is flat on the press, that all the seams are off of the platen, since seams will affect the pressure of your shirt. So I need it just off, but enough that I can still get the entire design. So it is smooth, it's all on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and press it for the 40 seconds. All right, so my 40 seconds is done. I'm gonna lift it up. I did forget to put my butcher paper on top. I do have the Teflon sheet, so even if ink transferred up, it won't get onto my machine to transfer to future projects. So as you noticed, my lights and stuff went out there at the end. My heat press flipped the breaker because I have too much other stuff plugged in the same area. So after taking care of that, I'm able to pull this off. And it just came off super easily. And then I've got the cardstock inside. And it did not get any ink on it, so I am going to save it to use it again. There is the finished shirt. So we've got the 2 different Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet colors, including the 3 sections we needed to do it in. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, go ahead and consider subscribing. Until next time, bye.